Hi guys, it's April and I garden down in southeast Nebraska, zone 5B, and I have zero idea what I'm doing. I'm gardening, but I don't know what I'm doing. We are in the point of the summer, about to hit fall, where things are just, they're wild, it's hot, and you start to question why you're doing everything. And I've probably said this in the last several garden tours that I've done, but this is the overwhelming part of the gardening season. This is the point where I have to keep reminding myself why I do this and what the end goal of all of this is, because I don't always want to be dealing with this. I sometimes just want to take a nap. But with those reminders of what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to cut costs of food for my family, I'm trying to make healthy meals, I'm trying to feed other people in the community. I just keep going. So I'm going to show you the garden. There are a few things that I'm probably going to talk you through of like what I kind of want to do, what I'm thinking, and then show you what is in the peak of its season right now. Let's start right here where we've got this tomato trellis that is falling over. We've got those tomatoes back there, and we've got this tomato right here with this epically ginormous ground cherry that is starting to make this walking path hard to get through. Now, this ground cherry is definitely hitting the peak of its season. We're getting a ton of fruit off of all of it. But as you can tell, that tomato plant needs to come out. This tomato plant, I'm done fighting with because this trellis has just fallen apart on me. It wasn't sturdy enough for the weight that I put on it. So even though it does look relatively okay, I think I want to pull it out because it is starting to impede on this poor peach tree. And the same can kind of be said for all of these other tomato plants. While they're okay, I think I'm ready to pull them out. I don't know if I will get to pulling them out this weekend because we are about to be hit with a serious heat wave for the next 3 or 4 days, and I don't know if I'm going to be out here. But if it is still this nice outside today, I might just come out and pull them all, but I don't know if I have time for that. But these might all be gone my next garden tour, and I'm okay with that because I have gotten so many tomatoes. I am overrun with tomatoes that the loss of these ones, I'm gonna be okay. Now, the other ground cherry is also ginormous. We have some interesting things going on with the squashes. You can't tell now because it's a beautiful part of the morning, so everything is very lush and doesn't seem like it's fading in any way. It's popped back, but at this point in the season, this zucchini plant is laying flat most of the time. So I know there are a few zucchinis on it, but those might be my last couple of zucchinis. These cowpeas are doing okay. They're just becoming a bush, which is interesting. And of course you can see the Georgia roaster right next to it. I think this plant isn't going to produce me any more fruit, and that is okay because the fact that I have 2 of those candy roasters, those Georgia roasters, that's more than enough for my family and what we do. But as you can see, we've got, I'm pretty sure, is powdery mildew, and most of the time when I come out here, these leaves are just sad. So I'm waiting for those signals that those fruits are ready to harvest, and then this plant might just be done. And the same can kind of be said about this pumpkin plant over here. So this is the biggest fruit, but it's also on the vine that doesn't seem to be doing the greatest. You can see it's kind of yellowy, and then we've got some more of the mildew over there. I have seen a couple more female flowers and such, and it looks like we've got that one that actually pollinated. So maybe we'll get pumpkins off of those, but as you can see, we are starting to actually get orange on that. So I think this vine might actually die a little early, but we'll make do, I suppose. I don't normally eat these pumpkins. These are usually my decorative pumpkins. So even if it does turn a little early, I'm hoping I can still store it until October. But as you can see, it's also a massive plant at this point. And of course, it didn't even go the direction I wanted it to go up that trellis right there. Not at all. Didn't listen to me. Now over here, right behind this huge squash, we have what I kind of call my butterfly garden, because I've got the butterfly weed right there and all the rest of that is milkweed. We have a surprise sunflower in the middle, and we used to have hollyhocks in there. This bed did not do quite what I wanted it to do this year. We don't have a lot of color. It's just a lot of weedy looking mess. I think what I might do next year is throw in some zinnia seeds with that as well. Maybe to give it some color through the later part of the season. Down here, we do have a butterkin that is pretty ripe. I don't think it's quite ready. It doesn't have that tough skin yet, but it has definitely turned so that if I wanted to eat it at any time, I could. We have another one hiding in the bed, but it is still green. And then the chickpeas are doing really, really well. So this was definitely the spot for them. I know I've shown you these pepper plants several times. Still no peppers off of either one, but they're alive. So that is something. We do have Sunflower Alley going pretty strong. We have a lot of sunflower heads that are just waiting to open. I mean, we've also had some sunflowers open as well, but none of the big ones yet. So that should be happening soon, fingers crossed. I have been starting to harvest some of the sweet peppers. Oh, looks like I have to probably take this one today. He's got a spot, but that's okay. We can use the rest of it for dinner, or I can give that to the guinea pig. But we also have a lot of red ones starting to pop up. I don't particularly enjoy green peppers, so I usually wait until they start to turn. And oh my gosh, you see that caterpillar? I don't know what type of caterpillar that is. I'm just gonna let it do its thing. I don't really mind. I don't think it's going to destroy anything I need. Oh, and also, see if I can show you him without startling him. Oh, did you see it? We had a tree frog. May have startled him too bad. I don't know if you saw him. He was a little blurry. But that's exciting. We do have some pretty big peppers in here, which I have never grown huge or a lot of huge peppers. But what I've been doing this year, especially since I packed them in so tight, is just letting them be, and it seems to be working okay. we have all of the tomatoes. I came through and gave everything a super hard prune last weekend, because as you can see, most of them are breaking off the trellis. So this is where my state of tomatoes are right now. Most of this isn't even in the bed anymore. I don't have the wherewithal to try and restring these tomatoes, so we're going for a bit of a bush style right now. These are mostly cherry tomatoes, and I've not been harvesting them as often as I probably should because I've just been so overwhelmed with cherry tomatoes. So I should probably come out here and do a good harvest of these, because it looks like we have some good ripe tomatoes. This one, if I can get to it, is gorgeous. I believe this is the solar flare. Of course, I'll show you the sunflowers again. And then the pond back there, still doing good. But here is where we pulled out all of the potatoes. So I decided that I was done with letting the potatoes grow. We pulled those all out. We got about almost 200, not quite. And they're the small purple potatoes. Oh, we have a big boy over here. A couple of tomatoes that need to be picked. I believe that is the black pineapple. But yeah, I came through and gave these a good hard prune as well. And they are actually looking pretty good. I do the same thing for these guys. I mean, they're still more a mess of plant than the other bed, but better than it was. Like I said, got some tomatoes to harvest. This is black from Peru, I think. Carrots still there, doing their thing. This butternut makes it really hard to get around some of these beds. It's almost like it's become one long bed, and so I have to go the long way around. I have been getting some spicy peppers, which is exciting. They've started to turn. I think I can, yeah, see? That is a pumpkin spice, I believe. And then I have been getting some of these ahi, not very many, but there are so many on this plant. So we'll see. More tomatoes that I obviously have to come through and harvest at some point. I started pulling out these zucchini plants because something definitely got to them and I didn't want to leave the dead plants in there, so I've been pulling them as they've been dying off. But we're still getting zucchini off of it. Still letting the beans do their things. I haven't seen any beans off of this plant yet. And then of course we've got, oh, that was another tree frog. I'm just annoying the heck out of all of them today. Okay, let's see if I can actually get you to see this one. You see him? Yep, right there. We've actually had a lot of them this year. But this pepper plant is starting to take over this bed, which is okay. Let me go back this way. I did plant some daikon hybrids, but I am horrible at making sure this stays damp, so I only have 2 coming up at present. I should probably come through and maybe give this a quick water. I don't know if I'm gonna get any more than that, but you know, it's okay. I will turn around and I will show you the stuff underneath the deck. First, let me just show you what these tomato plants are doing. They are just making their way up the deck. I cut everything that was coming into the yard, and I'm letting the rest of it go wild. I don't think I have a chance in heck of making sure this is tamed. But we do have a lot of the noodle beans. I left these a little too long on here. They're starting to dry out. We've been getting a lot of cherry tomatoes off of these plants. And then the pine berries are going crazy. I need to figure that out. Celery. What's another thing I was going to do this weekend is cut those back and maybe preserve those. But we do have a fruit truck coming in today, so I might get a bunch of peaches and that might take up my weekend instead. But we'll see. Because my peach tree has maybe 3 peaches in it, and they are still hard as a rock. Otherwise, we've got this eggplant right here that is giving me a ton of eggplants all of the time. I never trellised up this tomato plant, so starting to get into the peach tree. But that is the garden as it stands right now. So I know right now this garden is completely overwhelming me, but I know come 2 months from now, month and a half from now, I'm going to be sad to see this go. This is what my summers look like, and it's become my norm, and so it's going to be hard to say goodbye, but it has given me so much, and I'm so thrilled about that. If you want to see this garden as it continues out the rest of the season, feel free to subscribe down below, hit the bell, do all the things to get all of the notifications. I do also have an Instagram and Threads account, so if you want to follow more of a picture style update of what I'm harvesting and what I'm doing with the harvest, feel free to follow me over there as well. Otherwise, I do these garden tours every week until the end of the season, so I do hope I will see you again in another video, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.